I'm Daniel, 38, married to Lauren for almost 10 years. We met in college, back when life felt simple and full of endless possibilities. Fast forward 2 kids later, we imagined growing old together, never imagining how heavy forever could feel once dreams became mortgages, bills, and quiet dinners that said almost nothing. Lately, the dinners weren't even quiet, they were empty. Lauren would scroll through her phone across the table, while I pretended to read the news, really just watching her reflection on the screen. Distant, expressionless. I'd ask about her day. She'd shrug. I'd talk about work. She'd nod without looking up. I used to think marriages fade slowly, gently, but ours felt like it was evaporating on purpose, as if she wanted me to watch it disappear. It started small. Fewer touches, less laughter. Then came the comparisons. Mike just got promoted. Mike's wife looked so happy on vacation. Mike, the one she dated before me. The one she once said was too immature for anything serious. I stayed silent, thinking it would make me sound insecure. Maybe that was my mistake. Then came that evening. Tuesday. I came home early, hoping to surprise her with dinner. She didn't notice. She was on the phone in the kitchen, arguing. I caught her say, "No, I don't regret it. I just wonder what life would have been like if I'd married Mike instead." A soft, tired laugh followed. When she finally hung up, she turned to see me standing there with 2 plates of pasta. Her face, guilt, annoyance, defiance, spoke louder than any apology could. "Don't look at me like that," she said sharply. "It was just a joke." I wanted to believe her, but I knew. Jokes often carry truths. We ate in silence that night. She scrolled. I chewed, heart heavy, not with anger, but realization. She wasn't just unhappy. She was saying out loud what she regretted. The following days were worse. She slept on the edge of the bed, facing away. Mornings were void of greetings. One night I asked, "Are you okay?" She sighed. "I'm just tired, Daniel." It wasn't exhaustion, it was dismissal. I tried patience, helped more around the house, planned a weekend getaway. She canceled, saying she needed time alone. Then came that night, the one I replay like a film I never auditioned for. Friday. Lauren paced the kitchen, frustrated with a broken dishwasher. I tried to help. "Don't touch it. You'll make it worse," she snapped. "Lauren, I'm just trying," I said. She cut me off. I should have married Mike. At least he knew how to handle things. Time stopped. The refrigerator hummed. The clock ticked. Rain tapped at the window. All erased by those words. They weren't angry. They were soaked in years of regret. Finally finding a voice. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stared. The woman who once cried on my shoulder when her mother died. The one who laughed so hard on our first road trip. Spilling coffee on my jeans. Now, red-faced, breathing hard, looking at me like I was the life she wanted to escape. Seeing my calm made her uneasy. She sat at the table, arms crossed, waiting for the fight she'd rehearsed. But I didn't start it. I said quietly, "Then maybe you should find out what being Mrs. Mike really feels like." Her eyes widened. "What's that supposed to mean?" I walked to the drawer and pulled out a small envelope I had prepared days ago. Inside, the papers that didn't need shouting to end marriage. Filled out but unsigned. Part of me had known this night was coming. I placed it in front of her. "That's what it means," I said. She didn't touch it. Her eyes darted between the envelope and my face, trying to gauge my seriousness. Her lip trembled. "Daniel, don't do this." Panic started. Not loud, not dramatic, but that quiet fear of realizing she'd pushed things past the point of no return. Her hands shook against the table. "You can't just end things like this, Daniel." I leaned against the counter, calm. "Lauren, I didn't end anything tonight." "You did. I'm just acknowledging it." "So what? You're giving up?" "No," I said softly. "I'm accepting what's already gone." She looked at me as if I were a stranger who somehow knew her name. "You're not serious," she whispered. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was done negotiating with someone who had already packed mentally. For years I had held our marriage together. One apology, One compromise, one ignored slight at a time. I thought endurance was love. Turns out it was just fear of being alone. She paced. Daniel, this isn't what I meant. I was just angry. Then you should have been careful where you aimed it. Her eyes glistened. You're being cruel. I smiled, not because it was funny, but because it was ironic. The same woman who used silence as punishment now called honesty cruelty. I walked slowly toward her. You spent years reminding me what I'm not, what I don't do, who I'll never be. You made Mike a measuring stick for every flaw you could find. And you know what's sad, Lauren? She looked up, blinking fast. What? I stopped trying to outdo him a long time ago. Not because I gave up, but because I realized I was competing with a ghost of your imagination. He's perfect because he's gone. No words came from her. I continued. I loved you enough to stay through every cold dinner and every empty morning. But tonight, when you said you should have married Mike, I finally understood something. She swallowed. What? You don't want a husband, Lauren. You want an audience. Someone to applaud the life you think you deserve. Her face drained of color. I reached for the envelope, placing it gently back in my jacket pocket. What are you going to do with that? Nothing tonight, I said. I'll drive to my brother's, get some air, think about what I want next. Maybe I'll sign it tomorrow. Maybe not. But for once, the choice won't depend on you. Her voice cracked. Daniel, please don't just walk away like this. I almost laughed. Walk away? You've been walking away for years, just slower. She stepped closer, searching for the old version of me. The forgiving man who softened. He wasn't there. I wasn't leaving out of spite. I was leaving because the part of me that still believed in us had quietly died somewhere between her indifference and comparisons. She whispered, I didn't mean it. I nodded. Maybe, but words don't always measure truth. Sometimes they just reveal it. Her lip quivered. Is there anything I can say? Yes, I said softly. Goodbye. And that was it. No shouting. No slamming doors. Just keys sliding off the hook and my footsteps on the hallway rug. At the door, she said one last thing, desperate, soft. He wouldn't have loved me like you did. I turned once. That's the problem, Lauren. You never loved me like I did. Then I left. The drive was quiet, not escape, but release. Rain had stopped. City lights blurred like distant promises. I didn't feel angry or broken, just lighter. I stopped at a gas station, bought black coffee, and watched trucks pass. For the first time in years, I didn't feel the need to check my phone or rush home to explain myself. Somewhere between the hum of the road and the warmth of the cup, I realized a truth most people learn too late. Love isn't proven by how long you stay after it dies. It's proven by the courage to leave when staying means losing yourself. I don't know if Lauren called Mike that night or cried. Maybe she finally understood that regret isn't a time machine. It's a mirror. And if you stare too long, you see what you destroyed, not what you lost. I didn't send the papers immediately. They sat on my dresser for a month. Until one morning, I woke with peace instead of pain. That's when I signed them, not out of bitterness, but clarity. Because the day she shouted, I should have married Mike, she didn't just end a marriage. She reminded me who I was before her disappointment became my identity. My response, calm, quiet, final, was revenge. It was freedom,